Hello and welcome, y'all, to the third overall and final audio exclusive episode of the 280. That's right, folks. You didn't mishear. The 280 will officially be accompanied by video as of next week. That is February the 2nd in the year of our Lord 2023 for any Amish listening on vinyl. The 280, or at least the audio version, is also officially available out on all major podcasting platforms that you could possibly dream of using. We've got Spotify, we've got Apple Podcasts, we've got to get you onto a better platform if you're using anything outside of those two. Video episodes will still be exclusive to YouTube and Spotify. Anyways, regardless of your preferred medium for content consumption, thanks for swinging by. Sit down, strap in. I dabble in jabbering significantly. I'm a jabberer. I'm a recognizably devout jabberer too. Rife with blabber as well, if I'm being truthful. You know, I'm a vivid thinker, and I appreciate that about myself on most days. But the potential harm created via the overlap between vivid descriptions and my personalized storytelling, that harm escaped my thoughts prior to the launch of the 280. That oversight, some of that is my fault. You know, in fact, you could probably make a strong case that it was roughly 95% my fault. I don't think I'd argue with you. However, we gentle parent here at the 280. Give me a chance to clear some things up before you start pelting me with your expired cherry tomatoes. Okay, tomatoes. Why did I say teas? Tomatoes. I want to be clear. I want to be crystal clear, explicitly clear, okay? At an absolute maximum, I am 80% serious at any given moment. 80%. Usually, I don't even approach 80%, okay? This 80% rule applies to roughly any and all verbiage that has ever and will ever creep up my throat and slide past my thin, chapped lips. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. I don't know how it is. I don't know nothing. I don't get it either. But you know, here we are. This is where I'm at. And honestly, I don't think my moderately absurdist interactions are entirely negative or even overall negative. But if it annoys you, honestly, like fair, it just sucks because I don't have the vocabulary to accurately describe this purportedly antagonistic and incessant fluctuating amalgamation of sensory experience that comprises the remainder of my social and societal presentation. You know, I wish I could put it into words, but it's my bit. It is. It's my little bit, plain and simple. It is my bit, and my bit is my obligation. Legal obligation, in fact, as per the legal arrangements agreed upon prior to the initial publication of the 280, I am, and I quote, cursed to forever tap dance along the boundary lines of satire, blasphemy, goodwill, and blatant fabrication. Legally speaking, it's my bit. I will live and I will die by my bit. And you know, I know it can be kind of frustrating. Probably thinking, oh, Carson, how are we supposed to know the difference? I don't think you are. Relationships and interactions, they're just weird. They're weird. They're vague. They're unnecessarily complex. But if they weren't, God, they'd be so boring. I think, for me, the beautiful thing about relationships of all forms, romantic, platonic, whatever, for each individual relationship that we create in our lives. We create brand new caricatures of both ourselves and of others that are like exclusive to us. It's like a two-person performance because let's be honest, we mask our annoying traits when we meet people. You know what I mean? You're not going to come out of the gate swinging. Like if you approach people at a party in the same way that you act around your siblings, like I mean, you'll get shot more than most people. We do it. We all do it. We've been doing it for millennia, minimum. It's the logic behind first impressions matter, it's the logic behind the 3-month rule in dating, it's the logic behind trust issues as a whole. It's our reality. We don't really know each other. We decide what each individual gets to see of us. And that is the truly cathartic aspect of interaction. It's our delusions, our own delusions regarding others. And today, we analyze those delusions and some of the not super fun truths that inspire them. And please remember that I, as well as all of my previous and future guests, we speak from our own experience and we do so with good intentions. Even critiques come from a place of longing for peace and prosperity, I promise. And honestly, I assume the exact same of you faceless listener, you. Elaborate arguments are the basis of academia. They are the backbone of knowledge. They're essentially our only way to create knowledge. Disagreement is allowed. Disagreement without full understanding is ignorance. Ignorance is a top 5 Paramore song. Okay, rant over. Thanks yet again for tuning into the 280. Feel free to like, to follow, to comment, subscribe, or whatever else the hell could possibly apply to the service that you're listening to this on. And again, just to reiterate, all opinions expressed in the 280 are entirely genuine, and if you disagree with any of them, you are both wrong and a bad person. Okay, let's get to it. That, the big brown bug bit a big brown bear one, that is used to train auctioneers to speak super fast.
The big brown bug
Gonna get a vibe, get a vibe, not gonna be. And I know that because, my oldest little sister, when she was a young blood, wanted to be an auctioneer.
Oh, really?
After our grandfather died, we had a big estate sale where he sold a bunch of combines and a bunch of tractors and all of that stuff. And we hired an auctioneer to do the whole thing. And around that time, she started getting obsessed with auctioneering, and she would go to auctions a lot with my dad. And I hated auctions because they suck. They do. Yeah. They do suck, especially like old people auctions. But she freaking loved them, and she went to them all the time.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, that's the only reason I knew that is because it used to be a thing that was
redacted.
I don't know how old she was when it was happening, but fully wanted to be an auctioneer.
You think she remembers that?
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't super young. I think she was like double digits in age.
Oh, yeah.
At this point. Because I was 9 when he died, so she would be like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. She's not that much younger than me. So, picking up where we left off.
Noah.
Where we left off 20 minutes ago or last week, if you're not me or Jordan. Yeah. How'd you meet, first of all? What was the first Noah encounter like?
So, Noah, what happened is I'm friends with Michaela, right? And she has a friend named Taylor, who she is also friends with. And Taylor at the time was friends with Noah. And they're like best friends. And Taylor and Michaela are in my room talking, hanging out. They're like, oh my gosh, wait, Jordan and Noah, they're both single. They'd be great for each other. So, I remember one night.
Why don't people ever do that with me? That would be so convenient.
Well,
Never have that.
it was crazy. They're like, yeah, we're going to do this. And so, like, they give us, each of us, our snaps and then send each other pictures of us. And they're like, here, like, y'all two get together.
Okay. I did have somewhat of a facilitator
It
on mine. I'm not gonna lie, because
it felt like The Bachelorette.
yeah. No, I
like
get
I'm
that.
being.
Did I tell you how I met her?
No, tell me.
I went home for Jenna's graduation. It was a few days before Jenna's graduation, and I was sitting in a Burger King parking lot, and I was
Burger King, the finger
I was
chicken sounds so good right now.
I love the chicken fries so much, dude. I got the chicken fries and the normal fries.
And they have
And
a
I
place
would-
to put your sauce.
Yeah, I would douse those in ranch.
Oh my
I used to
gosh.
go to Burger King. I was
sounds bussin' right now.
a Burger King fiend
yes.
for a minute, and then they changed up their ranch, and it wasn't as good after. But
Lame.
I was in a Burger King parking lot, a tad bit, yeah, and I call my best friend. I was calling him on Snapchat for some reason. Fully have his phone number, but sometimes I call him on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I call him on phone. Whatever. I'm scrolling through my entire list of Snapchat friends to get down to L. And while I'm scrolling, I hit a J name. And that J name is the name of my friend.
Redacted.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't talk to
Redacted.
regularly. We're not on we weren't on we
close
weren't on
friends.
bad terms or anything like that, but we just like don't interact because
You-
we're not around each other ever.
You associate.
But I call her on Snapchat, and she picks up for some reason, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
You're like, this was the wrong person.
Well, it was, yeah. I mean, it wasn't even like a choice. It was just like a thing that happened, and I let happen, and so I don't remember what we were talking about because, again, not like fully in present. And she has this fine ass blonde who's like shifting in and out of the corner of the screen, like just drifting in and out because, as far as she's concerned, I'm a literal stranger who's just like giggling about some dumb shit and called her friend. And she pops in the view of the camera, and I don't know how long it was for, but we just like stared at each other for what was long enough that it was like an awkwardly long amount of time. And my brain like shuts off. Like I genuinely do not know how long I was staring at her.
That's sweet.
Because
you felt like
it
you fell in
just-
love then and there.
No, it wasn't even that. It was like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like my brain quite literally turned off, and I was
You're like
just
in awe.
I was just seeing her.
Yeah.
I don't think I talked to her. Like, I don't know if I said anything to her or not. I think I was just kind of perplexed by the whole situation because I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Who is that? And so
You're like, I have to know this person.
they're getting ready to go to a pool together, and
pool.
I am So they are essentially not busy. They're about to go lounge, and I am in a Burger King parking lot. So how fucking busy can you be? So I drive home with my chicken fries and send a message to
Redacted.
Those damn chicken
and I was
fries.
like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I know somewhere in the conversation there was a, ma'am, can I get the snap of the fine ass woman next to you? And I am not usually that
Up front.
that bold.
Yeah.
I can get bold. I don't know why. Something about her made me weirdly confident.
Aw. You're like, I'm
And
ready.
so-
I'm telling this person I like this person.
I don't even know what was going through my head. It was just like, it's not like an I'm ready, or it's not like a, oh, this is obviously fate, this is supposed to happen. It was like a, I wasn't scared to attempt. Like there was an immediate comfort.
Mhm.
And so I get her Snapchat, and I send her, I think my message said, "Hey girl with staring problem." And she answers back pretty immediately, and she is
Aw.
she's cuter than I originally thought. This
Mhm.
motherfucker's a looker.
Aw.
So I think I asked her out.
Y'all, for
Within-
everybody out there, imagine a person saying that about you. Like,
Imagine a person
she's a looker.
Imagine
Oh.
a person saying that about you, and then you block them on text message.
Oh.
Imagine that.
Oh.
Okay. Anyways. No. I'm going to recount happily. I refuse. I'm not being bitter this episode. I'm really not bitter. I feel like I'm very peaceful
you're
right
very-
now, somewhat.
Yeah, you're a positive thinker, it
I'm
seems.
somewhat. It depends on the moment.
You try to be.
It's not, and even when it's not positive, I don't think it's bitter anymore. I don't think I there was a time in my life where I used to think bitter.
You.
Yeah. I don't think it's bitter. I think it's more just sorrowful.
Aw.
But
Sad you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just miss it sometimes. But
Hmm.
yeah, so I think I asked her out within like 20 minutes of our conversation. Cause
Bold.
yeah, no. It was like okay, so you're cute, I'm cute. Let's go be cute together somewhere.
Go out with me.
And she agrees. And I'm like,
Aw.
oh shoot, okay.
You're like, really?
And-
Wait, really?
Yeah. And so we I stay up a while talking to her. And I woke up early that morning, so I was dead tired. But I
Mhm.
was so
Happy.
yeah. And
like
I was
you're just
happy, intrigued.
butterflies.
Yeah. Because she's a pretty motherfucker and we get along really well. And
That's one thing guys don't really talk about much is butterflies.
Yeah.
Like, do guys get butterflies?
I feel like you don't get butterflies in that you see somebody. I don't think it's butterflies in the sense of, oh my God, they're so pretty. Like I don't think you get butterflies from people being pretty. I don't think you get butterflies from being attracted to people. I think when you get butterflies is after you interact with them and it works.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this process of watching somebody who is pretty start to shift in your mind from pretty to beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that's in a sense for you looking at a girl. Mine is like, for a guy, it's like, I get butterflies when I know I like somebody. Like when I first see somebody, it's like, okay, yeah, like I see you. But it's like,
Yeah, I don't get at first sight butterflies.
mm-mm.
There's nothing. But there are situations where this doesn't apply here, but there have even been situations where I wasn't immediately attracted to somebody, and then I don't know if this is all guys or if this is just a me thing, because I hear about guys being super superficial a lot, and this
Mhm.
is one of my least superficial characteristics. Like I have superficial shit. This isn't one of them. But I've had instances of interacting with people where I wasn't attracted to them, and then we had like a really genuine, very good reaction, and all of a sudden, like, boom,
You get those
like,
feelings. Yeah.
they start to get like prettier and prettier in real time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was one of those, except I already started out in a place of like, I feel like it's fair to say awe, because
Yeah.
she
You were in awe. You're
she
in
was, I mean, she is genuinely very beautiful.
like
but
the choir singing.
I was more in awe of just how playful and gentle she was. I think that was my favorite thing about her.
Mhm.
is her. She's so gentle and sweet, and I've never been used to that. I've never had a relationship like that. And I don't anymore
From what you're
because that
used to at home.
the relationship kind of devolved and it wasn't sweet anymore. It was very much
Serious.
well, not
It
even that.
gets-
It was like transactional because I feel like I became a therapist that she had a crush on, and I don't. And so there would be instances where like
you
every now and then she'd be like, "How are you doing?" And then I get like 2 sentences where I talk about myself, and then it immediately devolves into, "I'm so upset about this," and I was fine. I was fine with
Oh.
it because I cared a
Uh-huh.
lot, but it was very much I don't know. It devolved into a process of losing yourself for somebody
For
that
somebody
you were
else.
willing to lose yourself for, and that became very dangerous and detrimental
Mm-hmm.
at the end. And I would go back to it immediately if given the chance, and that is the horrible part of it.
Sadly. Yep.
But yeah, no, it was a wonderful night. I later on in that conversation, when I took my first screenshot of her, got my first picture of her, and I took the fucking screenshot. I don't know jack shit about astrology,
Mm-hmm.
but I learned about angel numbers later because I looked at the timestamp on that screenshot. Guess what the timestamp is?
333.
3:33 a.m.
Hell
is my
yeah.
first picture of her.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. It's weird.
It's so weird.
It's weird.
It's so weird. It's so weird how fast things it's so weird how fast things changed in both directions. And it's so crazy how much of an impact that somebody can just accidentally show up
In your
and
life.
radically change you that much.
Yeah.
And it was radical because your love was like a genuine relationship. You had like full arcs, more than a year and a half together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to say how long mine was because honestly, it embarrasses me at this point, knowing that like I ended up in a place that genuinely crushed me, and it took so little for that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, also
It's like pathetic. Like
no,
actually.
it's not. People's feelings progress in different ways, and like men, I've learned they fall in love much faster than a woman does.
It can, yeah. I feel like it happened at the exact same time
But
though.
yeah,
It was very weird. That was a very intense feeling. It was in Top Gun Maverick.
That's cute.
And like we barely got tickets because we waited a long time because we went with my mom. Like we were in we were in the handicap seats because that's all that was open. So
Mhm.
it was me and her in that like little 2 section, and then my mom was right across from us, and we were watching this Top Gun movie, which was awesome, by the way. That was a freaking good movie,
Aw.
dude. And it was,
Felt like the life.
yeah. I don't want to fucking talk about me though. I don't,
Well,
yeah.
it feels good to talk it out sometimes.
Yeah, well, I know what follows the farther that I get into talking about it. So we are going to shift to Noah. I want to
Okay.
know how you met Noah.
So one day, I worked at Payway at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm, wearing black jeans, work shoes. I'm in this Payway shirt, and Michaela, my best friend, she's like, Jordan, I'm going out to eat. Come with me. Taylor's gonna be with me. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll be there. And I get ready. It's pouring rain outside. She's like, we're going to Charleston's. I'm like, crap, okay, I don't have anything nice, but I'm trying to find something nice. So I'm still in my Payway, my jean pants, my
Mhm.
black pants, So I smell like food, I felt like. And I change into different shoes and a different shirt. And, I'm driving on the way there. And it's so far out. I thought it was a different Charleston's. I go to a different one at first. And, I'm ticked off because it's cold, raining, yada, yada, yada. My hair looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, by the way, Noah's here. I'm like, the boy you were talking about, like, you want me to get with. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, crap. So I'm shaking. And I almost just turn around and say, forget it. Like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
But I decide to go. And I get there, and Michaela meets me outside, and we walk in, and he's sitting there, and he has his glasses on, and he's with his friend Solomon. And it's like, I was scared to look at him. I just, like, give him a glance, and then I look at Michaela and Taylor. I sit by them, and I'm like, where's the bathroom? Like, I don't even say hi to Noah or Solomon or anything. And they show me, and I get up, and I knew this man's was looking at my butt as soon as I got up. I knew it. But I go to the bathroom, and I throw up because I was so nervous. Anyway, so I go to the bathroom. Once I'm done in the bathroom, I come back and I sit down, and they're in this conversation about his ex and how she's crazy and how the dude she's with at the time wants to beat up him.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he was accused of raping her.
Oh.
And Michaela was friends with her too, and so was Taylor. And they're like, yeah, she's just making stuff up. Like, she made it up to the whole school. It was this whole thing. And, like, I truly believe he didn't do it because he would have told me. Judging from what I'm I'll probably tell you later.
No, yeah, I feel like that's fair to say, and we're gonna get into that in a second. But, yeah, no, for those listening, trust us, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Mans was excessively honest.
Oh yeah. So we eat at, we eat at Charleston's. I don't really get anything because I didn't have money with me at the time, and I was working on building up money, right?
Yeah.
And so he goes on this trip with Solomon, and him and I just like get each other's snap. We snap back and forth. I end up going to Colorado, and Michaela comes with us. Oh, in the meantime, when I was in Colorado, my parents had a big fight there, and I had to take my little sisters downstairs because there was glass in my dad's neck and blood dripping down his face and his whole, they were fighting physically.
Did she crack a bottle on him?
Probably a freaking
vase?
like a whole light bulb or some shit. Like, I'm like, really? Y'all chose to do this on vacation? Good Lord. Like, we're supposed to be relaxing here, y'all. Come on. Let's get your shit together. But, so we go to Colorado. Me and Michaela, we have fun. Got my little sister high. Yeah. I mean, we're in Colorado. What else is there to do? I mean, I love it out there. It's really pretty. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of elevation in all forms.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But we're out there, and we come back, and me and Noah start hanging out, and we have our first date. Oh, no. We start hanging out, and I go with him and Michaela and Taylor to this bonfire. And it was like his school bonfire. Like, all the seniors were out there, and some college students, and everybody was drinking. We have fun there. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay with him so bad. But his friend was drunk and needed to go home. Was kind of depressed, going through it, right? So they go home, we go home. we go on our first date, and that's at BJ's. And he comes and picks me up and meets my parents. And
On the first date?
He walks up to the door, rings the doorbell, introduces himself. Like, I asked him, I was like, "Are you scared?" He's like, "No, I'm not scared. I'm not. I want to meet your family. I'm like, straightforward, just exactly what I wanted." And, he meets them, shakes their hand, good, strong handshake, and, very respectful, opens my doors. He wouldn't let me walk on the side of the road, ever. And so we go to BJ's, and, like, we pick out food, and, I'm scared to eat in front of him. I'm like, oh, I'm anxious. And, he lets me pick out a dessert. He's like, "Pick out a dessert." I'm like, no. He's like, "No, it's okay. Pick it out." And so, we have like this little cookie brownie dessert thing.
Yeah.
And from there, we go back home.
Yeah.
We had a movie room at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We were hanging out in there, and
Let me guess.
we watched a movie. We were watching a movie, and we were snuggling. And okay, so when I first got to, I thought he was really cute and everything, but then I saw his body, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a plus. So I kind of got some feelings there, and I might have unbuckled his buckle. And I was like, I went down, I went down on him.
Sure.
and
That's pretty immediate. That's like third time seeing him?
It was like our fourth, yeah.
Yeah. So very immediate connection.
After that, well, and even like in the movie room, the doors were glass.
Oh my God.
So my parents could have easily walked by, but they had friends over.
Oh my God.
But they were all on the deck and drinking and playing games and smoking.
Yeah.
So they were never inside ever.
Deviant.
And he was also very like, it's okay. And I trusted him.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, whatever.
Bet.
I'm like, you know what? Whatever you say goes. I was okay with it for him. And before him, I was very much a girl where I was like, I don't do what a fucking man says. Like, I'm gonna be a billionaire by myself, a woman, how it starts. That's what I'm gonna do.
Girl boss, I think, is the proper terminology.
I'm gonna be a girl boss. Till I met Noah.
Yeah.
I met Noah, and shit hit the fan. I was like, screw all that. I just want to have a family.
You think that's a good change?
I felt like it was.
Do you still feel like it was?
No. Because I lost all motivation and drive for work. Because all I wanted was a family. All I wanted was him. And the life with him. And, life that we talked about. But we have that first date. And from there, it just went wild. I remember we went to Red River, New Mexico. It was me and Noah and Michaela and her boyfriend Isaac at the time.
Yeah.
And
lovely little man from what I've heard.
Oh, no. But me and Noah got our own room, and Michaela and Isaac got their own room. And it was like our first adult trip. And me and him literally eat all day, every day. We're just in bed.
Yeah.
Like, and if like Michaela and them heard, I don't know. I'm not even going to say that. But like, anyway, it was a honeymoon phase.
Sure.
Like him and I, it was like we were in love at the time. At
Mhm.
that time when it started there.
Yeah, you were at that phase where you weren't even in bed purely because of sexual desire.
It was
You're at that stage where you can just lay down
yeah.
together 4 hours at a time.
Yeah. And I remember the first time he ever told me he loved me. It was we were in my car outside of IHOP. It was like 12 o'clock. And we were talking about personal issues and family. And I had never seen a guy cry. Ever. And he cried to me. And it was like this moment of vulnerability that was like that he was giving to me, and was like it just felt like he was mine. Like I had him in my hands, and I was not ever gonna let him go. I wasn't ever gonna let him feel that way. And he was stating to me feelings that he had, and like medicine that he took for depression and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
At the time I didn't take medicine for it, but I knew I was depressed too.
Yeah.
And so it scared me. It was like, he takes medicine for this, and he actually takes medicine for it, and I'm this way all the time. This isn't going to be good. Like I knew.
And there's no moderator present.
Yeah, I knew at that time that things were going to be bad, but also I fell in love with him at that time. And after we went into IHOP and we sat there, and his eyes were all puffy and he had his glasses on, and it was just so sweet. Like I just wanted to lean over and kiss him and like hold his face and just love on him. And I can't do that.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But
yeah. No, those memories will fucking kill you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's what it was like falling in when I fell in love with him. But I didn't tell him.
Mm-hmm.
Later on down the line, there was this place he took me to. It was like his uncle's farm, and they had like this storage unit or this place set up where they could play pool, and they had a TV in there and all this stuff. And him and his sister set up these lights in there and made a bed,
mm-hmm.
and put on a movie, or put a movie on there ready for us to go. And I remember it was like we were just planning a date, and he was like, yeah, let's go get some snacks. And he let me pick out my favorite snacks, and grabbed a blanket. And I knew we were going to the farm, but I didn't know, like, he had these lights and everything strung up and was all sweet about it. And we go out there, and like the whole night I wanted to tell him I love him, but I was scared, and I wanted to wait for him to tell me because I was scared. And so I just waited, and like I'd turn and look at him, and he'd look at me and he'd be like, what is it, what? Like he knew. But by the end of the night, we stood up, or like we didn't even do anything that night. Like we just watched movies, hung out, and it was really sweet. And like he gave me like this big old warm hug, and then he was like, I love you. And I was scared to say it back, because I'm like, I love this person, and he loves me.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He loves me. He's in love with me. Somebody actually feels that way about me. Like, I'm their person. And I was like, I love you too. And, you know, it was like Jaeger from there on. I met his grandparents, and I met his mother and brother and sister and dad, and I met everybody in his family. And I stayed at his house a lot. I'd spend the night. Then it got to this point where I was going through problems with my family, and my stepmom kicked me out.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was never home because he worked out of state, like since I was in elementary school, he's always worked out of state. And so where was I going with this? What did I just?
Well, I don't
I
know
lost my train of thought.
I
What
don't
was
know
I
your
talking?
life well enough to finish that thought.
I mean, like, what was I talking about?
You were talking about Noah. Dad worked out of state. Stepmom just kicked you out.
Oh yeah, so you know, my stepmom and I weren't on good terms,
Mm-hmm.
and she kicks me out, and my dad's like, I don't want you to leave. Don't leave. This and this and this. I'm like, your bitch kicked me out. I'm not staying anymore. And Michaela and Isaac helped me move out, and they hated Noah after a while because I showed up late one night. I showed up late.
Yeah.
And they felt like he was disrespecting them, when really it was my fault.
Stepdad or
My dad and my
okay.
stepmom. She's a
Yeah.
It was just a
stepmom.
reason
My
for
bad.
her to get me out of the house, honestly. And to this day, they claim they didn't kick me out.
Do you think it's possible that they were just
redacted.
But anyway, I like. I don't know why I had to do that just now. Anyway, sorry. I apologize for the inconvenience.
No. I feel like I don't know, it's weird because I feel like I'm sitting on like a fucking nuclear missile right now and nobody listening knows. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I definitely want to give you a chance to hash all of it out first, but like, holy fuck.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's all a lot. And honestly, I don't want to fucking jump the gun, but
okay.
I don't know if I'm impressed or like horrified
About Noah?
that you can still have these feelings for. Okay, we need to cut this part out.
Oh, that's okay.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Fuck. Okay.
Anyway, so he like I loved him to the end. He was my everything. Like, I bought him a whole thing of essential oils and was like, you have to use the peppermint when you have headaches. And you know, I remember he hit his head one time and I skipped work to come see him because he was bleeding at the head, and I was like,
I mean, he already had the peppermint oils.
He'll be fine with the peppermint oils. But I mean, and that was in the beginning of the relationship that he hit his head, but I was there. Like, I was all in.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I had it was like I waited my whole life to love somebody.
Yeah.
And then finally I got to love them, and I gave them my all, and then they turned around and shit on me.
Yeah.
Turned around and was like, oh yeah, this didn't mean anything. We're done. And he broke up with me because, you know, I got depressed, and I had no motive for life, really. And I had these problems with my parents, my stepmom, and, you know, working. And he was like, you know, I feel like you're not getting anywhere right now. You have no motive. It's unattractive, which it wasn't attractive, you know? And it's sad. But also, he's not the man I want to be with if he can't stick with me in my downfalls.
Yeah.
And that was something that was really hard for me. But also, there's a part of me that understands it. That is like, he needed to be okay for himself. Like, I felt like I was pulling him down. But also, if you look at relationships and marriages and everything, they don't give up. Like, a person changes constantly in their life, and it's falling. You're constantly in this marriage. You're falling in love with this new person every day.
Yeah.
A new version of this person. But also, we weren't in a marriage, and it was like we treated it like it was a marriage. We stopped going out. He played his games. You know, we just were kind of, we hung out in the bed together, watched TV, went to sleep.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was like the spark was still there, but not. It was sad. Like, it was like, I don't know. And then he ended it and got with another girl that is younger than me, but it was like immediately after he got with her.
How long?
2 weeks.
See, I do appreciate that she hasn't done that, because I genuinely I can't get into it in as much detail, because a lot of it is hers to share.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna do that to her. But we were very much in a similar situation
Mm-hmm.
as you, very directly similar, where she was in a situation where she was doing pretty well
Mm-hmm.
when we, in the initial stages of our relationship, and there was a very specific thing that
Mm-hmm.
it's just immediate spiral, and I broke up with her.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely wasn't an I don't love you anymore, you're not attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely wasn't that. But it was, I think I catch a lot of flack for not being able to, for not having held down a long relationship. And some of it is commitment issues, but a lot of it is that I do feel that I am emotionally healthy enough that I understand when it's done, at least for the time being, and I understand even when I don't want it to be done. I understand that prolonging it will maybe hurt me. I don't usually end. No, I don't want to say usually, because there was nothing usual about that relationship. I knew prolonging it would hurt me, but more importantly, it would hurt her, and it would have hurt her worse. So I had to
Draw a line.
I had to, and
Sadly.
I don't know if draw a line is even the right word. I had to let her go off into this into whatever her progression would look like, and I very quickly forgot that, because because I missed her
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
a lot. And our relationship after the first initial breakup was a perpetual cycle of I know it has to be done,
Mm-hmm.
and I really don't want it to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't want it to be done.
And yeah. And so by now I'm at the stage where I'm still at the same stage of I don't want it to be.
Over.
And she I do think, you know, I wasn't super consistent because she makes me weak. But I mean, she seems like she's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't regret it because I'm in a horrible emotionally I'm in a horrible state right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like I'm in a horrible state and she's also suffering and it's just misery all around. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it was for something.
You feel like it was
And it
for
was
the better.
it was for her betterment.
Mm-hmm.
And I still genuinely feel like that matters more than me.
You think her feelings matter more than yours.
Yeah, I do.
So that
And
backtracks to being a child.
She's the only. Well, she's unique in that I knew it had to be with my sisters. I knew it had to be done, but I'm equipped to take a lot of punishment.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I think about it, it's actually completely not different whatsoever.
It's not.
But hers is in this type of punishment is in.
Hers is emotional.
It's in. Oh,
It's emotional
later
for you.
there was
too.
Yeah.
Like whereas like
the other one was emotional, but this one is intense enough that I don't know that I'm equipped to handle it.
Uh-huh.
And I have to handle it either
Oh,
way.
God.
And there's not.
Yep.
I don't know.
You have to.
It's been yeah. I don't know. It's weird transitioning back to pain that stems from a sort of neglect rather than what's become familiar for me over the last 2 years, which is the pain that stems from solitude and of the death of expectation of better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was in a state of not believing that there could be better. And I'm now in a state of knowing that there is, and knowing that what was better, it's not possible anymore because
you felt like she was better.
Well, yeah, and I feel like I ruined it, and I ruined it because I had to, but I still ruined it, And it's tiring. Yeah. And I'm so
But it's not your fault. It's not her fault. It's nobody's fault. I feel like you put a lot of the blame on yourself. Where it shouldn't be. It's not. I mean, basically you let the bird go to survive. And, later on if she comes back, then it was meant to be.
See, I'm pissed that I have to wait on if she comes back.
But don't wait. Don't wait. You have to be your own bird, have your own freedom.
No, the fuck I do not.
Yeah, you do.
No, I want to jump out of the nest. I want to not be able to fly, and I want to hit the ground and be done. That's what I want.
That sounds very suicidal.
No, I don't mean... I don't know what I mean.
You can't wait for a relationship that's not there.
The thing is, I know that, and I'm not consciously, you've watched me attempt to try to force
Mm-hmm.
the process
Yeah.
of what I thought, what I know is moving on, what I've used in the past to try to jump from emotional turmoil to emotional numbness,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't do it,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
I don't know. So I think that's we did talk about this earlier, much earlier, because we've recorded for like 4
Mm-hmm.
hours now.
Yep.
But I feel like I don't know. I've been getting really into the idea of celibacy recently,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know which would be better. I'm still in a constant state of mulling it over because I don't know. I really want to be I want to be free of the connection that's lingering
What is that
because I don't think it's going to be,
with her?
yeah, cuz I don't think it's beneficial anymore because I don't think it's I don't think there's anything left.
Yeah.
I think I have I think I have a lot left. I don't think she needs it, so I think I need to be done with it. And I want to be done with it, but I don't in
It-
terms of being done with it and actually fucking
It was a first love.
I yeah, yeah, and I don't know if I don't know how to approach them. I don't know how to get to whatever the fuck is next.
And your
I don't.
feelings.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what moving on would look like. I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know if I don't know if I should sever an emotional connection by splitting it amongst strangers. I don't know if I should fucking find
So,
my peace. Fucking heal on my own. Fucking I
so
don't know. Usually this is the part where this is the part of somebody's life where they get into like some sort of religious radicalization, and I can't do that
that
because even if I want to, I just like I can't.
that
I
or they
can't. I
go
don't
into a
give
hoe
a shit, you
phase.
know. Yeah,
Um,
and I don't want either. I don't want either. I
For
don't want
me-
women, and I don't want
you
God.
don't want women or men.
I no, I don't. I don't. I don't want women. I don't want spirituality. I don't want I don't know. I've been trying to force myself to want like career. And I do somewhat. I mean, that's what this is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I
You're trying to find a connection you feel that's lost
I want what I no. What
with yourself.
I want, yeah, I want what I had before in that I want to not want because I was perfectly fucking fine. I was
Mhm.
perfectly fucking fine. And
You're basically saying you want to forget
it
her,
kind of
but you don't.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Like you don't want to forget her, but you
Because
want to
it's not
forget the pain.
I'm saying it's not really fair to what it was because there was a lot of really beautiful things that I got to see and I got to feel
Moments.
for the first time, and they aren't
It's the memories that
the
hurt.
longer that they linger, the less beautiful that they become because I don't associate them with happiness anymore.
You associate them with pain.
Yeah.
Because a happy memory will turn into a sad one because it's like mourning a death.
Yeah.
When somebody dies, you have those memories of them, but it's painful because they're dead. They're no longer in your life. Like you cannot have those memories again. You're just reminiscing them.
Yeah. And I'm such a big fucking hypocrite too because I want her to be thriving.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not religious, but I still actively I don't know if you call it prayer, but I do actively
Try
pray
to
for
pray.
her and kind of
So
wish for her to have better. But I also am so fucking upset at how well she's seemingly taking this shit. I am so upset, like devastated.
well, they're gonna put on a. Everybody puts on a show. Clearly she's not gonna want to show you. I mean, you broke up with her.
I mean, not this last time. This last time she fully rejected me.
Oh, really?
The last couple times.
Damn.
It's like a month's worth of rejection at
Oh,
least.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, there's not a duality anymore. It's
I feel like
yeah.
moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, so recently what really helped me is whoever he ends up with for me. Well, her for you, whoever she ends up with. I'll say it in your instance. Whoever she ends up with, you have to let that person love her and know that she's being loved by that person.
Oh my God, do not even say that. Like,
Honey,
actually, don't even
she
say that.
needs
I
to
don't want
be.
to think about that. No.
Like me, Noah got with another girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard, but I have to realize I cannot be selfish. I have to say he went through this stuff too. He was in the relationship with me too. And this relationship he's in with her, I have to let her love him, and I have to trust that she knows how to love him the way he wants to be loved, the way he needs to be loved. And I have to trust that, in the end, he'll make the decision of being with her or not. If she loves him how he needs to be loved, then he'll stay. If not, he'll come back. And he hasn't. So I know that she's loving him the way he needs to be loved, and I know that it makes him happy. So I'm happy. And it's hard to say. And I know it sounds half-assed, and I know it sounds totally stupid. But as much as I want to continue to love him, as much as I still want to have him, I have to know that he's okay with somebody else. He's okay in her arms.
What about what it does to you, though?
I move on.
You've been at it longer than me. How has this type of pain changed you, do you think? What has the shift been like?
It's definitely hard. There's a point of feeling like it defines you, a point of feeling like it takes you down and it puts you in this shitty place. But also it's like, I'm 19.
Yeah.
Out of 100 years. Say I live to be 100. I'm 19.
Oh my God, oh my God.
And if I think about all these years ahead of me,
I
it's
want
like
55 max.
Oh. I mean, I don't know. I haven't thought about that, but like there's so many years down the line.
Yeah.
And there's so many people I'm going to meet. I don't want to be stuck in the same place in my head and shriveling up because I can't get out of this place in my head. I don't want to miss life and everything that's in front of me because I'm stuck on this person. I loved him. I'm sure I could say I still love him. I'm just not in love.
You don't think you've fully moved on yet?
I'm close to fully moved on. I found somebody that gave me butterflies for the first time since him. And it does take time. And it was like this sort of, it sounds stupid, inner peace I had to find with myself. It was like like I would get so angry with myself. Like I'd constantly jab at myself, get at myself. Like, it's because you did this, you know, you're like this, you're that. What's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? That's what hit really hard for me, is why wasn't I enough? And I can't think that way. Like, at the end of the day, we're all just pink brains. Like, I was talking to Michaela about this. We're all just these living, like, blob, like our brains, just these blob of muscle in these bodies that control the world. We're these walking around pink brains. It's like, I have to think of the world in a positive way and think about, you know, I have to think about the world in a much broader aspect than how I'm thinking about it now. How I'm seeing myself with people and relationships, and that, you know, I'm not the only one who goes through these things, and there are people to talk to, there are people to open up to. You just have to find the people that listen and actually care. So, I don't know.
What's the new guy like?
He's very sweet. If I have a question, he answers. Like, he's not like, well, duh, he answers, but like, I mean,
He texts me back sometimes.
he texts me back. But like, I'm saying, like, if I'm anxious about something or I'm feeling insecure about something, he's like, I'm like, you know, I told him, I was like, I take medicine, right? And he was like, I was like, I was just scared to tell you, you know, and he was like, it's okay, you can tell me anything, I'll listen. And just very straightforward, very like, there's some things in certain people you realize as you meet more people, it's like, I never knew I wanted that in a person. It's like, oh, like Noah didn't have this, and I really like it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't realize that was something I was missing. So it sort of like opens my views more. It helps me figure things out. I don't know, but he's a really sweet person.
Yeah.
I can't say much about him because I haven't talked to him much. We're just like we haven't even stated that we like each other, but it's like, you know.
Okay.
And so, he jokes around. Like, he'll make a joke and I'll laugh about it, but then, like, her brother would make a joke. He'd be like, okay, hey. He's like, that's enough. He's like, no, like, I can only do that, or something like that. I don't know. It makes me laugh. I think it's funny. And like, when I was younger, I didn't have many guy friends, and the ones I did, they were all funny. And so it's like, it makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
And it keeps your mood boosted. And I feel like that's something I need in my life, is somebody who is funny. So, you know, I'm not living in constant meh.
Yeah.
Constant, you know.
Yeah. I like funny girls a lot.
Yeah, you have
I've
to be
known-
with somebody
yeah.
who can keep you on
Yeah.
your toes, keep you going, keep you happy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Noah wasn't that funny. But I loved him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I fell in love with him. Like, it was like he was the man of my dreams, he'd like pull over. One time he pulled over in just this random parking lot, flicked on the lights, his car lights, turned on the music, listened to country music. It was a slow song, and we just danced in front of the car lights. Like, it was romantic. And one time he took me out, and by the lake, he pulled his truck out there, and we gathered sticks and stones and we made a little fire, and then we laid out on the truck and looked at the stars and talked. And it was romantic. It was just really sweet. But I can't really think about that stuff anymore. Like, they're memories, they're good memories. But I can't think about them because they make me sad. Yeah. I've thought through them, though. You can't push away your feelings, because at the end of the day, they're just going to keep coming back. You have to think them through. You have to think through your feelings to where you can get in a good part in your life. Michaela's mom taught me that. She was like, you have to think through your feelings. That's the only way it'll leave. But the feelings will still be there. They won't be bottled. So, I don't know. I learned that, and it helped. And so now I'm at a better state in mind with it. I still struggle with it. I think about him every now and then. But then I start to think about the bad things too.
Yeah.
I had to put him in a place where I had to think about the bad things about him to help me get over the good things.
See, I don't know if that's fair. I want to be I know something like that would be effective, but I don't. It feels
You won't
so
hate the person. It's
unfair.
just...
And genuinely, I think of the things about her that are bad, they are so minuscule. So minuscule. There's not something you can point to. At least there's something there's not anything that I can point to where I'm like,
that you really hated
she's
her.
not who I thought she was. She's not.
She's exactly who you
she's
wanted.
not who my brain is pretending to be. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend like she's some like fell out of heaven, like perfect in every single way. Like, can't even imagine like how anybody could possibly be better. But she is, as far as I'm concerned, she is my bar.
Mm-hmm.
She's my gold standard for women for the time being.
You're right. She's your bar. That's how Noah is for me.
She's
you
not
don't want to
perfect,
get
but
with anybody who's...
she was enough. She was enough.
Yeah. You look
think,
for higher standards now.
She was a little bit neglecting towards the end, but I mean, we also weren't
So was Noah.
fucking together, I guess. So I don't know. Okay, so not fully over Noah, but somewhat getting there. Personally, if there was a Freaky Friday 2 scenario, Carson is Jordan now, Jordan is Carson now, I would already be over it. I would be over it for a very specific and
reason.
absolutely horrendous, vile reason. And if I'm being honest, I don't know whether to be impressed or horrified that there are still genuine feelings there, because when I think about this thing, that happened, my dick genuinely tries to curl up like a little roly-poly.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
could you expand on what I'm talking about, please, and explain
Yes.
it for the people? Because if I genuinely might vomit on this carpet if I try to like get into it and
So,
recount it,
with him, Noah, who
because I get the sentiments and I understand. I understand for you it's different because there was an in love scenario.
yeah,
But for me, it is genuinely, I say genuinely too much. It is so fucking difficult for me to wrap my head around because when you say you focus on the bad, there's his bad is mm, mm, and that's yeah because I didn't even know about like rape accusations or whatever, but I do know that what I know is I don't want to say worse because I mean obviously like
it's
don't
pretty bad.
fucking rape people, but it is I can't even explain the visceral reaction in my head that I had when I was first made aware of this. So, go ahead.
So Noah and I were about a year into our relationship, and
Mhm.
mind you, him and I were together like 2 years, a year and a half,
So
close to that.
very much established feelings,
Yeah.
which is
So
why I can there's which is why I will afford some leeway.
yeah. So
Mm.
a year into our relationship, a year into our relationship, I'm talking to him, and it's on a rainy day,
Mhm.
and we had been driving around, and I'm like, what is your deepest, what is your deepest secret? Like, you've never told anybody at all, ever. Like, you will not admit to anybody. You'll never tell anybody. And he's like, no, nope, 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 no, won't tell me, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'll tell you mine. And, like, he makes that to be this big thing. And I'm like,
makes it out
well,
is
I'm freaking out. I'm like, what do you mean? What are
Mhm.
you talking about?
Mhm.
And so we get food and we're eating, and
Oh, you were
we were
eat-
eating.
Oh.
I know, we were eating.
Mm.
And he starts bawling. He's like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. I'm like, and a while ago he was accused of rape,
Yeah.
like I told you in the first
Yeah.
episode.
Not ideal.
So
Not what I would if I dated men. It's not personally what I would look for.
yeah, so I'm like,
So you're probably thinking it's that.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. I was like, what'd you do? Rape a
Would
girl?
would that be a deal breaker?
With him,
I feel like that would have.
I told him, I was like, I love you so much, I will never leave you.
Oh.
Like, I would go through murder and back with him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like you liked him a little more than I like her.
Yeah. I loved him. Um, but he started bawling, and I was like, "What'd you do? Rape someone?" He was like, "No, no, 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 no." And so then we start getting. I'm like, "Okay, so what happened?" He won't tell me. I'm like, okay, so was it here? Was it here? Was it here? He, I figure out it's at his house, right?
Yeah.
And so I start narrowing down the places in his house. Is it in your room? Is it downstairs? Is it? And he's like, well, so he tells me it's downstairs. I'm like, all right. I'm like, so who's with you? He won't tell me. He won't tell me. He won't tell me. I'm like, okay. I'm like, were you with anybody? He was like, I was like, he's like, well, I wasn't with any person or anything. I'm like, okay, so like Vader was there, which is his dog. I was like, so
Yeah.
your dog was there?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah. I was like, so it was just y'all, you and your dog? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, so what crazy ass thing did you do that you were bawling your eyes out, praying for forgiveness of your sins every night to the Lord, you know? And so I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like,
This story's making me so fidgety, bro. It's like, oh.
I'm like, did you fuck your dog? And his face goes blank. This motherfucker
Well,
stuck it in his dog.
I don't know about mother.
Boy dog.
I don't think girl dog makes it better.
It makes nothing better. Nothing about that was good. The fact I stayed with him after he told me this too. After I stayed with him, I was like, there's nothing you can tell me that, that he fucked his dog. And I was like,
Okay.
oh,
I actually haven't. Actually, this isn't even like a podcast question, like planned out.
uh-huh.
Like I genuinely don't know the answer to this question, and I'm kind of scared because I think I know what the answer is gonna be, and I don't want to. I don't know. So I'm just gonna ask it. After finding this out,
Mm-hmm.
were there? Did you continue? Did,
To have sex with him?
yes.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
I'd already had sex with him before. I'm like, fuck. Like, you could have given me an STD before.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
are
not
you?
even. Oh. That's not
Yeah.
even.
Well,
STD is like the least gross part of that.
I know. But things came into perspective after that. I'm like, oh, that's why your dog. That's why your dog has shitting problems. Oh my gosh.
It's like actually.
I'm
I
like,
gotta take a deep breath.
are
like,
you
that is not
dumb?
It's like not. I already knew. I already knew, and it's still nauseating to hear it.
Mm-hmm. I asked him why, and his response was because he was depressed and because he wasn't himself, and he thought that no girl was gonna want him, and that
So he was insecure. So he
fucked his dog. Really? Like, I'm not sure I believe this. Like, I'm not sure that's the reason.
I don't know. I don't know what the reason. I don't know what
Like,
the reason would be.
What am I supposed to do in that state?
Oh, I do know what you're supposed to do.
Break up with him.
I do feel like it is fair to say. I don't even want to say no judgment because there's a slight. There's a
There's a lot.
Okay,
I should have.
Okay, in the future, going forward, hindsight is 2020. In the future, if we encounter dog fuckers, what are we?
We leave.
We leave.
We leave the premises. We're like
immediately, and we take the dog.
Yeah, we take the dog with us. We're like, you no longer get to be around animals. The fact I had him around my animals, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. But like, the fact he fucked a dog makes me think about what else.
That's like.
But he told me that was like.
I mean, that's past like
secret.
that is past
What,
like big mouth level.
I'm
shit.
thinking, what shit will
Like-
he do in the future? Like, that's not something I want to be with. But I still stayed with him because I loved him, and I don't know. I figured it was a very low point in his life, and he was young.
Yeah. See,
And when you're
that's-
young, you make dumbass decisions.
Yeah, not
But
that.
he wasn't. He was like fucking 15, 14.
That's I mean that's relatively old.
That's relatively
That's
old.
pretty-
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
pretty old for
That's what I'm
canine
saying.
sexual relations.
Bestiality, he can check that off the rice.
Okay.
The whatever list. What is it? That test called the rice
Purity
purity test. Yep.
I don't know what my score is anymore.
I don't either.
I don't know. We can check after this. My phone is like 9%. Okay. So, I feel like that is I feel like we can move past the dating portion.
The bestiality.
I feel like that puts a very nice little pin.
Topper.
Not even pin
On our
because I
ice
don't want to
cream.
return back to it. Also, I feel like there is a substantial difference. I feel like that is the most substantial difference between our two situations is that mine sticks with humans, so I don't have like anything like that to
He doesn't
latch
have a
onto.
problem like that.
Yeah. Mine doesn't have any like glaring like flaws, you know? Anyways, okay. Moving on. Let's shift over to some relationships that are at least somewhat stable. We touched on the Emma jackass, but we have not touched on who came after.
Emma?
Who came after Emma? Michaela.
Mm-hmm.
So, you had a best friend at one point.
Mm-hmm.
No longer a best friend.
Emma was my best friend of 3 years.
Yes.
And
This is not an Emma Stan podcast.
yeah, me and Emma, we had a whole fight on the deck with our parents, mine and hers. And they told me I was psychotic and needed to go to a psychotic ward. And my parents didn't say shit.
Did they know about the dog thing? Is that why? They could sense
No,
it?
my parents had no clue about the dog thing. But this was before I met Noah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That was the end of that relationship. I leaned over the table and, like, got up all in her face. And I was like, don't ever talk to me again. You're a bitch.
So how did your current situation arise? Because I know you and Michaela fight somewhat. It's not like this perfect like
fight a
yin
lot.
yang type of a relationship.
Yeah.
But it is stable in that it always comes back.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think there's a real fear between the two of you that you can do something that will end it. And so, I'm curious as to how that arose.
Well,
Just yeah.
I thought I wanted to go into the medical field.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, she did too. And I went to a Tulsa Tech medical assisting class course thing.
Yeah.
And she took one too. And she had a different class, but it was like around our first day there. And I go up there and I sit down. I'm waiting for the class to start, and I'm just sitting in like the lounge and hanging out. And I see her sitting. Well, I saw her sitting down first, and she looked familiar. I was like, I've seen her around Union, because we would leave Union and then go to the tech school. So I was like, oh, I've seen her around. So I go up to her, and at the time I wasn't really the type of person to go up to people and talk to them. So it was very bold of me.
Yeah.
At that point in time, I felt very proud of myself. I was trying to make friends. I wanted somebody to talk to while I was there, because I'm a super awkward person when I'm just sitting alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up to her and I was like, do I know you? She's like, maybe you've seen me around school. And I was like, oh, you go to Union? She's like, yeah, I go to Union. And from there, we just instantly clicked. And I had her over one time at my house, and we did face masks and, hung out, and we told each other that we thought I was like, you're a really pretty person. She's like, you're really pretty too. We got drunk.
Mm-hmm.
My parents let us have drinks, and we got drunk and hung out. And that was one of our first times hanging out. And my family loved her. And turns out the night at the fair where I was with that boy and I lost my virginity, I also met Michaela. She was there on one of the only rides I went on. And I was on there with Nate, and she was on there with my friend Bree Farhood. And I turn around and I'm like, oh my gosh, Bree Farhood, hi. And, she's like, hey, this is Michaela. And we forgot we met that night. And then, fast forward to this friendship we're starting. She's showing me her pictures on her phone, and she's like, oh my gosh, no way. Like, we met each other this day and we didn't even know. Which is crazy. Like, how things happen like that.
Yeah.
And also the day that I met Nate, and Emma met Caleb, and we went to Texas Roadhouse at that back to school bash. That's the same day she broke her wrist, and she was with Isaac. And Isaac Isaac is
Isaac will be a topic on a future episode.
Yeah,
It
will
be happening.
Oh. Anyway, I had been friends with Isaac at one point in my life, like in 6th grade, so I knew who he was. And I found out that the two of them were dating, and like, he's this little short boy and she's pretty tall, and he's very scrawny.
Yeah.
So it was like they were like
Same.
opposites,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody at Union would talk about them, so that hurt her feelings a lot and everything. But our friendship progressed. She went with us to Colorado. That was when I first started knowing Noah. And then she was best friends with me the whole relationship through Noah. And after Noah, she was there through it all, just as I was there through it all for her and Isaac. She showed me the same love, same set of ears. Like, I'm listening, I'm here, I'm your best friend. Mm-hmm. Like, I will not let you go. She's been with me when I was at my stepmom's, and when I was at my dad's or stepmom's, whatever, and she's chased me up the stairs. My stepmom has, and Michaela was there and seen it all. My stepmom used to tell me she used to tell me, I will use Michaela in any way I see fit to get through to you. I will get any information from her. Basically trying to control me through my best friend. And when my parents started to hate Noah, and I was like kicked out of the house, Michaela and Isaac would still go to my house and hang out with my parents. And it felt wrong, and it hurt my feelings, and she'd hang out with my little sisters. And it hurt. So that was kind of a nick in our relationship. I felt like kind of like something that hurt me. And I'm sure she has a lot of things that hurt her too. But that was a big one. But we have conversations about things now. I'm like, Michaela, you're a little bit uptight or something. Like, I'll tell her that. And then she'll be like, well, with what? And I'll tell her the instance or, something we feel like isn't effective for us or we feel like is bad for us. I'm like, Michaela, this. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, I'll fix it. I'll try and fix it. And then she does the same to me. Sometimes it doesn't get fixed, though, and we have the same problem arise, and we get in the same fight, and it's just constant circles. And recently, that's how it's felt, is constant circles. But, I mean, we're trauma bonded, I feel like.
Yeah.
And we also both hate being alone. And so it's like we just latch on to people. Like, I find a person and I latch on. Like Noah, I latched on to him and I didn't ever want to leave him. And currently that's what I'm doing with Michaela, I'm sure.
My next bullet point is quite literally, do you cling on to relationships to avoid alone time?
Yes.
Okay. That's on there because it's fucking obvious. I'm so
yeah.
sorry. It is.
It is.
What?
I do it a lot.
Because you have a decent chunk actually of deep-rooted, lengthy, long history, somewhat messy relationships that you can delve into and that you've been highly present in. And I am curious. I'm changing my bullet point. I am curious about your relationship with Jordan.
Huh?
Mhm.
Like my relationship with myself?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
How do you think people perceive you, first of all? What do you imagine when you imagine you? Like, if you try to imagine yourself outside of, like, that image of looking in a mirror and seeing a reflection. Like, if you were a stranger meeting yourself, who do you think you are? Who do you think you present as?
I want to be presented as a kind, thoughtful listener, somebody who's smart in a way or has good advice. I want to be a person people can go to talk about their issues. Like, I want to be dependable. But also to those who it needs to be, I want to be fiery. I want to be fierce. I want to be feared or scared. I want someone,
Do you think people perceive you in the way that you want to be perceived? Like, do you think people see you as all of those things?
I ask Michaela, I'm like, what did you think when you first met me? I ask like all my friends who I talk to. I'm like, what was your first thought about me when you met me? They're like, oh, that like you're a nice person, or but if you ask my mom and my sister, they're going to tell you I'm very angry and I take things out on people. And I have these bottled up issues and feelings, and I snap easy. And I hurt the people that I am closest with because I don't know how to fix it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of people, especially in the last 3 years or so. I came up as a very personable individual.
Mhm.
And I don't necessarily think that went away, but I came up as somebody who very much attempted friendliness with everybody
Mhm.
and interacted with people simply because they weren't being interacted with, you know, type of person to head over to the corners to try to reach out. And that was a very conscious effort. I don't think that that was natural, but I assumed that through that type of conscious effort and through my natural ability to interact and to analyze and to convert reality into absurdity and humor, because I feel like it's fair to say that I am pretty fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie,
You have good
and
humor.
I'm pretty good at interacting with people. And about the time I hit 17, you know, I I never liked myself that much,
Mhm.
but I was at the very least confident in my ability to interact and in my personability.
Mhm.
And I thought that I was a very capable communicator, and even if I was ugly, even if I was angry, even if I was harsh sometimes or even bitter, I assumed that other people were affording me the leniency that I gave to them. And I
Mhm.
assumed that everybody else, I assumed that things didn't sit with them because things don't sit with me. You know, I
Mhm.
can't be mad about things for more than a week. And I genuinely like most people because
Mhm.
I feel like hatred is an effort for
Yeah.
almost everybody.
It's
And
time consuming.
yeah. And I had fairly extensive networks of friend groups, and around the time I was 17, one of my major ones, I found out that a lot of people that I considered to be my best friends growing up, I was a very common topic of conversation because they hated me, and they would
Oh,
talk about how annoying I was, or like
oh,
how
that's sad.
I don't know about sad, because I don't remember whether or not it was warranted, and I lean towards it was warranted now, but I also
Mhm.
don't know how much of that is self-deprecation
Mhm.
and how much of it was that they were genuine cunts. um
What? How old were you?
17
Oh,
ish,
yeah.
and it
I
was
mean, at that age, it's less of kids fucking around
yeah,
and
well,
more of
yeah,
them.
and in defense of my 17-year-old self, they remain very flimsy friends. You know,
Yeah.
they are not consistent with each other. And there's constantly like there's constant overturn because they don't actually fucking like each other.
Mm-mm.
You know, I watch them as we get older. Jesus Christ. I watch them as we get older form these friendships with these people that they were relentlessly shitty towards.
Mhm.
And knowing that one, I was essentially thrown away. Two, I wasn't thrown away for no reason.
Mm.
I'm not sure what the specific reasons were, but I do know that they had genuine reasoning for their hatred. And I can't speak to the validity of that because I don't know what the reasons were,
Oh no.
but I have no reason to believe that. I mean, if that many people dislike you,
Mhm.
there's it's very unlikely that everybody is wrong, you know? And then three, that there was no reconciliation, even though I know that reconciliation came to fruition with people that I know that they fucking despised.
You were just with the wrong group of people.
But
Yes.
there is
you were.
no right for me. That's what I'm saying. Because in the years since, I don't make friends like that anymore. I don't hang out with people super consistently, and that's not because of, I don't know if that's because of lack of ability or because I don't want to.
Hmm.
Because I don't trust that shit. The
You don't
first
trust people.
the
That's right.
first genuine, like, super close relationship that I had made in the 3 years since was her.
Yep.
She's a lot more than just like a first flame. She's the ending of a long era of suffering and the beginning of one that is somehow fucking worse,
the end
at
and the
least
beginning
right
of a new
now.
one.
So I don't know, but I know that the way that I perceive myself was shitty when I was never alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it got better when I was alone. And so I have no fucking clue how to navigate that. Absolutely fucking none. And I feel like I'm entering another period of never being alone again because I'm interacting with so many
people.
fucking people, people. And I interact with strangers all the time now, and I have all of these one-off interactions. You know, that's what my romantic life was for a very long time, if you can even call it romantic. It's these one-offs with
Mhm.
strangers that I don't see again, and I pretend not to know if I do see them again.
Yeah.
And I'd go to parties with groups of people that I don't know, and I barely knew then, like people that I met that day that I would just, I don't know how, but I'd end up
Hanging out with
getting
them.
carted around. And it's happened so often that I feel like I simultaneously cling to this version of me that gets along with everybody, that is super personable, that is fluent in humanity, while also being this supreme, pompous, fucking annoying little bitch boy.
I mean, that's how I felt a lot. I lost a lot of friends growing up. I had like 5 best friends that I lost. I'm not friends with anybody from my elementary anymore. I'm really not friends with anybody from high school anymore.
My elementary friend group is dissolved.
Yeah.
One of them, I have a lot of trouble hating people.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, I actually don't know. I actually don't know whether or not I hate her. I really don't. I tried to during high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't.
It's too much
really,
effort.
well, it's
to
not.
hate someone.
It's not even that. I missed her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was, for a very long time, I didn't have like that type of romantic connection to like glom onto some sort of heartbreak. So I didn't have that type of shit that sat with me, that just shaped me and molded me and gave me that like teenage angst. A lot my biggest lady trauma stems from that motherfucker who I had no romantic interaction with at all.
A few moments later.
There was a deep rooted homophobic movement in the 90s that so many people just cannot let go of. It's so annoying. It's so anti-intellectual.
My mom thinks it's gross, but Yeah, but also
I think it's
there's a
gross
thing
to like
called
chew
public
with your
decency.
mouth closed.
Yeah.
No, the fuck there isn't. Go into a Walmart, look at the people that are shopping there. Tell me you believe in public
Oh,
decency, bro. The
my
gremlins
goodness.
that you can
At
find
Walmart.
traversing the aisles of public supermarkets.
Ooh.
Public decency? Are
It's-
you kidding? You can like
There needs
see-
to be.
you
sometimes.
can
I'm
see
just
the
like,
excess toenail of some of those motherfuckers. Just like, oh my gosh. You could I would swear to God, some of the people at Walmart, you could use their toenails as scissors.
Ugh. Ah. I wish I could take that image out of my head.
Very much. You wouldn't even have to buy a lawnmower at that point. You just kind of walk and like flex
You
your
trim
toes
the
together.
grass with your toes.
Yeah. You get it between your toes and you just flex them.
You hear like slicing noises. Sing, sing. Just wiggle your toes and they cut the grass.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
Or you just like swing, like kick, kind of like scythe style.
Mm-hmm. You know what sounds really good right now? Boba. Like a tea.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh.
I kind of want Burger King though, but I don't want to buy it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yes.
We're almost at 2 hours on the second episode.
Huh.
So I have one final question.
Okay.
This episode has been mostly about relationships, and this one specifically has been heavily about love.
Yes.
You know, our first encounter with people that we eventually fall in love with, you know, our obsession with these people who are just ethereal in our minds and just the absolute prettiest that the world has to offer. At least in my case, here's fucks dogs. But I'm curious. My final question to you. What makes someone pretty?
To me?
Yes. Externally, internally, whatever your gut feeling is, what's the answer?
What makes someone pretty? It's definitely, if I'm talking about for a guy, for somebody I would like, or what makes me attracted to them, what I see as they're pretty to me. It's not anything on looks at first. Like, well, okay, so you know, I'm gonna have a little bit of standards with looks. Like, I want, you know, personal hygiene. First of all, that's like the first thing I need somebody to have is good hygiene. Like, if you don't take showers, it's no go. And definitely somebody's eyes. Like when you look in them and it's like you get a connection or you don't.
Yeah.
That's things that have to do with outside. But inside, it's like when a person, they're kind to me, but it's like if somebody were to hurt me, it's like they're like they take up for me. Like they care. A sense of, I care for you. Oh, you scared me. You looked the other way.
No, my bad.
But it's like, what attracts me to a person is like definitely if they're funny, if they're kind, if they care for animals, because that's a big thing. And a year down the line, I didn't, you know, my ex, I find out he fucked an animal, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely on the list. And it was on the list before him. It's just...
and there it should remain.
It needs to remain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, like, now I look for someone who can who I see has a good future for themselves. Somebody who like doesn't matter if they know where they want to go or what, but somebody who is trying. You can tell is trying. And that's all that really matters to me. It's never about looks at all ever for me. It's a connection. I don't know. Just someone who wants good for me and I want good for them, Just that's that. Like a good future, good happy life, but is okay with trauma, is okay with someone who's okay with knowing that I'm not fully fixed. Like I'm not in them too, like let's go through it together. Things like that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with people. But that's that. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But what is yours? Like what do you mean by pretty?
I feel like pretty is a developmental process.
Mm-hmm.
I love people who exhibit understanding, and I don't even mean that in a listening sort of sense, because I feel like listening is genuinely easy.
Yeah.
And should be more widespread. I mean that in a sense of watching people know how to properly interact with people in wildly different circumstances.
Mhm.
Like knowing when to tone it down, knowing when to
Yeah.
be playful, and understanding what people need.
Mm-hmm. Reading the room.
Deep empathy. I've previously liked I've liked mean women a lot in the past, but I think part of that is I think part of that understanding, especially with me, it's exhibited through like being funny,
Mm-hmm.
and I know now being gentle.
Yeah.
For her for her shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
She was very funny, and she was very gentle.
Yeah.
And she was bubbly
Yeah.
when she needed to be, but she wasn't annoying,
Wasn't overpowering.
She was loving, and she was courageous enough that she didn't feel the need to hide it.
Yeah. Like
And
Cinderella.
oh my God,
Be kind and have courage.
her eyes.
Aww.
She had these really, really pretty deep blue eyes.
Aww.
Or has.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she still has eyes. I saw a picture recently too. She got she was in the late stages of braces when I was with her, and she got them off, and she looks really nice.
Aww. How sweet.
But yeah, I don't know.
That's just how you view a person to be pretty.
Yeah, I like smart and gentle.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you have that combination,
I don't know.
and the motherfuckers always turn out blonde, but that's not a prerequisite.
Recently,
Swear to God,
you're looking for girls who are bitches and blonde.
God, I don't only like blondes. It just so
What next? Do they have
happens.
red lipstick and blue eyes and heels?
A lot of them have blue eyes. I'm not gonna lie. There is varying height, though.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific height.
I couldn't be with a guy that's shorter than me.
I've never done taller than me.
Yeah, I
At
can't.
least I've never attempted a relationship with taller than me.
I think that's a bit weird.
But somewhat.
But
one of my friends is having a little situationship with a girl who's a little bit taller than him, and he's the type of dude. He's an aspiring preacher, and he's starting to get pretty good. And He's dating like a tall bisexual lady, like a very much like
Interesting.
very much like Dommy Mommy vibes, you know? Yeah, from
That's
what I
funny.
gather, and he didn't do a lot of dating type romantic shit in high school, and it's kind of cool to hear about it. Hear about that like natural progression
Mm-hmm.
and him like learning the shit that I had to learn painfully
Yeah.
earlier. It's interesting to watch, and it's gonna be interesting to find out whether or not it ends painfully or if he fucking figures it out in a way that I didn't.
Yep.
I'm intrigued, and then yeah.
It's weird how people go through different things but come out with the same.
Yeah, and vice versa,
Yeah.
you know.
Or go through the same things and come back with different answers, different feelings. Everybody's different.
I hope one day I become one of those people who like just like comes back with answers and not like
You want to be wise.
fucking a deep feeling of like impending doom.
Have you ever thought about when you're older and you're wrinkly and you have grandkids? The world doesn't matter. Like, you've lived. Fuck it. Like, you do what you want. You know, you're gonna die soon. Go do something fun, travel the world.
You know, actually,
But you have your hip bone that's not working correctly.
I haven't thought a lot about the idea of being elderly just because I don't really have an expectation for myself to make it to elderly
Mhm.
because I'm not I'm not that heavily future oriented, and two, I don't know. I feel like I've had a feeling for a while, whether conscious or subconscious, that it's just not gonna
Happen?
it's not gonna be prolonged that long. And I hope it isn't, if I'm being honest. But I don't know. I feel like the one thought that I do have about like being elderly, being an old man, is that I don't consider myself to be very pretty now,
Mm-hmm.
but I've thought about in the future, like with the progression of aging and the idea of going from worrying about trying to be pretty, trying to be somebody that people perceive as attractive, trying to be somebody that like if you pass somebody on the sidewalk, they notice, and they like remember a face. You want to be like that type of like noticeably beautiful.
Yeah.
And when you're older, there seems to be that shift where maybe I wouldn't be worried about that anymore, and maybe I could I feel like me as an old man, I feel like I have the type of face where even if it's not super pretty, I feel like it is a very it would be a very warm old man face, and I feel like
You
it's the
have
type of
very
thing that you
distinct
could.
features. Like,
Yeah,
your
it's a
cheekbones are very
nice
sharp.
way of saying
Your
ugly. That's because I'm
No.
135 fucking
No.
pounds right now.
Like, your cheekbones are very sharp. Your
Yeah,
jawline's very
because
sharp.
I'm fucking anorexic, bro.
No.
It's
Like, you have the facial features of like when you're older and you're like in your 40s, your face will look really good on you. Like, it's like you'll definitely grow into it, if that makes sense. Like, not that you aren't already. It's just like some people, the older they are, the better they look.
yeah.
And some people, it's the opposite. I feel like yours is when you're older, you'll definitely, like, you could look really good when you're older. And I'm not trying to sit here and like flirt or anything, and that's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like future. I'm not saying I'm digging myself in the hole. You look good right now, and I feel like you're very hard on yourself and very hard on your future self, but you're not as bad as you think you look. If somebody were to ask me, I'd be like, yeah, he's a handsome guy. Like he's a pretty guy. He's not.
See, and my issue is I hear people say that, and there's no part of me that can believe that.
Really?
No part. I literally had this conversation with my cousin the other
It's
day.
because you shit on
too.
yourself so much.
No, yeah, actually. And the only comforting thought that I've had about being elderly, I think like my features on like an old man face, where I don't think a big nose is very pretty, and I don't think like that type of wrinkles or like the fucking crow's feet or whatever
Oh, I
is
feel
pretty,
you.
but it's very there is something very warm about that exact same look on an old
An
man.
old person, yeah.
And I think the idea of a transition into the embrace of an old man's warmth
Mm-hmm.
is very lovely. And so, I don't know.
Think about when you're an old man and you have a wife, and you and her live together till you're dead. You live in a home together, and it may not be who you think now, but later on in life you'll find your person, whether it's who you think or it's not, and you could live happily ever after like they do in the movies, or you could not. But I don't know. That's kind of what I want, is I kind of want to have that cute little fairy tale ending.
Yeah.
Where I grow old with somebody and I'm able to eat pizza on the couch and watch watch a movie and not have to worry about anything other than my hip bone hurting.
Yeah.
You know? But I want to be buried by my person. Or I want to be made into a willow tree. Like, just sprinkle me. Like, use my body as soil for something else to grow.
Yeah.
That's what I really want. I don't want to be buried. I want, like, burn me or something and use my body as soil for something else to grow. I'd really like it to be a willow tree, because I think those are beautiful and peaceful, and like over a pond with a bench. I don't know. With some wind chimes. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
A little bit of goofy to it. But
Yeah. I want to be taxidermied.
oh.
Yeah. I do. I want to be taxidermied, and I want to be used as a Christmas tree.
Really?
Yeah. Ornaments and all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This ornament is his right finger.
Or maybe even like, you know what? Maybe not a Christmas tree. Maybe not a Christmas tree. Full taxidermy nativity scene.
A what scene?
Nativity scene. You know the thing like baby Jesus in a manger? That like layout.
Aww,
Yeah,
that's cute.
No, but like taxidermied corpses. Like making the
Oh.
nativity scene.
That's kind of creepy.
I think it'll be kind of sick. Okay.
You want your family to make you out of that? You think they...
Oh, no, not family. I want to be donated. I want it to be a collective hodgepodge corpse nativity scene.
Huh. But what if... But wouldn't you... Don't you want your family to have a little bit of peace?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't care.
No.
Because in the end, I feel like it's like your family who really needs comfort when you die.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the end, yeah, it's your life, but they're living their life still, and you've left. Like, I want to give them something to have comfort in, something for them to find peace through.
Yeah, like sick ass nativity scene.
Yeah.
Okay. We're at 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, that's a long
The
time.
end of part 2. That means we have officially recorded for 4.5 hours.
Heck yeah.
Technically 5 if you count the stuff that we cut out and
Uh-huh.
pretended like we didn't cut out due to editing. So, thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me. I really had fun.
Yeah, it was
I
very enjoyable.
I would do it again. I'd talk
Very
again.
nice.
I think it's fun. I enjoy it here.
I think we could.
Okay, wait.
Okay, I just made a mess. So, okay, goodbye, y'all. Y'all can fuck off now. Bye.